Have you ever heard of sensory brand marketing before? Are you even aware of how much it affects your consumer behavior or what it means? Well, keep watching. Sensory marketing can be defined as marketing that engages the consumer's senses and affects their behavior. These senses are smell, touch, sound, taste, and sight, which have allowed human beings to identify and distinguish company brands and products. However, of the five human senses, sight has dominated the market, which has been caused by the popularity of visual media, for example, the internet and billboards. On the other hand, Kirshner argues that it is partially due to the power of visual sensory signatures as highly memorable and identifiable. For example, it is unusual for an individual to not identify the Apple logo, the golden arches of McDonald's, and the white wave on the red background of the Coca-Cola sign. Holt and other academics argue that the senses smell, sound, taste, and touch has been neglected. However, even though sight remains to be arguably the most dominant sense, Cobos argues that sound is as important as sight. In his article, he explains how organizations understand that visual objects are not sufficient to influence the consumer purchase decisions and decide to provide new features to their products and brands. These new features are in the form of sound. On the other hand, it could be argued that the smell sense affects consumer behavior the most, because it is important for humans' experiences, memories, and well-being. To back up this claim, according to a worldwide report, 8% of men and 90% of women associate a particular scent with specific memories and experiences. However, Williams and Ackerman argue that touch can create symbolic connections between people and products, and between buyers and sellers. Physically holding products can create a sense of psychological ownership, which shows that consumers use their hands to connect with brands. Furthermore, Holt argues that the taste sense is disregarded in marketing, and a small amount of firms rely on the taste sense to strengthen their image and identity. Even when it comes to food, Levi argues that people eat with their eyes and with their nose before they even let the food touch their mouth. Therefore, it could be argued that consumers rely more on their sight and smell senses than taste. In conclusion, I think that sight affects consumer behavior more than any other sense because people rely upon this sense the most, and it often drives the first impression. To back up this claim, more than 80% of brand communication is through sense of sight, and we are living in a world that consumers receive daily 10,000 visual messages. On the other hand, if a company produced a product that made people use all five senses, then they would dominate their market. Lynn Shaw also states it is not enough to present a product or a service visually in an ad. So brands that try to combine as many senses as possible will affect consumer behavior the most.